Dad M. Roy back again. Let's see, this is Saturday, May 6th or 7th. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I'm actually in the car right now, and I'm going to be heading to breakfast over at that restaurant, Nick's, that Dad and I love. It's actually been quite a few weeks since I've gone, because generally they've had really good garage sales, but being this is Mother's Day weekend, there really aren't any. There is one sale that I'm going to check out first before I head to the restaurant that's right by the house, and I'm not even sure if they're up and running yet. If not, then I'll just hit up on the way back. But other than that, there's really nothing else this weekend. I'm kind of surprised, because even though Mother's Day is technically a holiday, it's not usually a big holiday around here, at least not in this area. I remember other years, that weekend for Mother's Day, they had just as many garage sales as they normally do. But I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that the weather has been pretty nasty the past week, and they've been forecasting rain on and off on today. But actually, the rain has ceased, and it's not supposed to come back for a couple of days. The clouds are pretty much totally gone. There's just some high, thin ones right now. Rest day is supposed to be beautiful, but I guess people need to plan their garage sales in advance. So basically, yeah, put a kibosh on that plan for this weekend. So I'll see what happens. I do have a couple updates to tell you about. I purchased another laptop yesterday off of Craigslist. I think you guys will find it interesting. It's actually a custom-built one by Systemax or Tiger Direct. It's a Core i5 2520M CPU, so second generation Core i5. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I actually changed out the hard drive. It had a 320 gig Western Digital that the person put in because the original hard drive went bad. I took that out and I put in my 720 gigabyte Hitachi drive from the Toshiba laptop that I have, and I'm actually going to get another new hard drive for that, and I got to set that laptop up for a friend of mine that needs one badly. So it's going to work out nicely. I'll try to get some footage of that later on, and of course you probably hear I am still trying to wake up. It's only a little past 7, and I've had no coffee this morning, mainly just because I want to have it when I get to the restaurant. So the rest of the day should bring some interesting things. I will talk to you guys a little later. Alright guys, so I just left breakfast. Oh, it was really good. Had the usual, the deluxe skillet. If you're ever in this area and you go to the restaurant Nick's, it's definitely a must-have. I just hit up a garage sale on the way out. Not the one that I was going to go to before, but something I just saw on the way. And picked up something pretty interesting. It's a Link Depot memory card carrying case. Got it for $1. It says it holds, let's see, memory stick, Duo, memory stick, XD, SD. Pretty much all the normal memory cards. I thought that was a pretty good buy. You know, I have a lot of memory cards, but they're strewn all over my drawer, and I can't find a good way to sort them now. This should work really well. So I'm going to actually head out to this other one. This other sale promises to be a little bit bigger. Listening to the radio. Sorry about that, guys. But I wanted to touch on a subject that somebody was asking me about the other day. I always said in the past that I never want to talk about politics on my channel, and for the most part I don't. But one thing I wanted to say was it just gets on my nerves when people don't know when to leave, especially if they're not wanted. And of course I'm referring to in this case, the Republican presidential candidate race. John Kasich just pulled out like 2 days ago, and he actually pulled out after Ted Cruz did, which I thought was amazing, because Kasich had only won one state, his own home state. So I don't understand why he would do that, other than the fact I think they were hoping for a contested convention, which looks very, very unlikely now, because Trump is the presumptive nominee at this point. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. And like I said, I'm not specifically endorsing any specific candidate at this point, but I just found it, I guess you could use the word irksome, that Kasich would stay in longer than he really should have. He actually should have gotten out of the race probably a couple of months ago, because he really has no business being in there. from what I understand, what he was hoping for was if Trump didn't get to the 1237, and he still might not. It's all up in the air at this point, but it looks like he has a good shot at it. But if he didn't, then they would go to like a contested convention, and then he could put out his case for wanting to be nominee, saying that, oh, well, Trump didn't get to the 1237 that he needed, and that that the people are basically split. And of course, that's what the GOP would love, because they don't like Trump. Trump is a wild card. Trump is a loose cannon. Trump's going to do what Trump wants to do, and he's not in the pockets of any of these big businesses. And that's why when it comes to a candidate, I'm actually kind of leaning towards Trump. Just because he's not going to be the status quo. He's not going to be the person that goes with the establishment. And that's the biggest problem. Whether it be, I'm not talking about a specific party. I'm talking about, it could be on the Democrat side, could be on the Republican side. If they are establishment, then they're in the pockets of these big businesses and these lobbyist groups that are going to influence what they do. It's not going to happen with Trump if he becomes president, because he didn't have anybody help him get to this point. He funded his own campaign. So that's all I want to say about this. I don't want to go on a whole rant, but I just thought that had to be said, because it's something that's been weighing on my mind for a while. And I really am really starting to lean towards Trump, just because I think he would be a welcome change from the norm. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't mean to start a huge political debate here, but just thought I had to get that out. Well, I'm almost at this other sale. I actually don't even see them out there yet, and it's pushing 9 o'clock, so who knows, they might have canceled because of the rain. We'll see what happens. I'll talk to you guys a little later. Alright guys, so it's going to be a little hard to film because I have the workman here right now putting in the new hot water heater. But I just wanted to show you guys this new laptop I picked up. It's actually a Systemax brand, which is really Tiger Direct. It's got a Core i5 second generation processor, if this will focus. There you go. And I've loaded Windows 10. Now I still have to do some work to this. I need to do a BIOS update on this, because it's not really as stable as I would like it right now, but it's stable enough for me to show you what this actually has in it. Once again, it's a Core i5 2520 running at 2.5 gigahertz. Now this is the variable speed processor, so this actually can go up to 3.2 gigahertz. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it's rocking the 64-bit operating system, 64-bit version of Windows 10, which is excellent. Of course, that's the only thing I would put on here. And as you can see, the hard drive on here is basically 720 megabyte, but you only get about 698 total. So, all in all, not a bad computer. It does just have the Intel graphics chipset on it, but what I need to do now is try to get a BIOS update, because I'm having some issues with Windows 10 blue screening every once in a while. And I did some research, and I definitely think it has to do with the fact the BIOS is a little outdated on this system. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that, and I'll get back with you guys later. Hey guys, well, I just had a little bit of a scare. So like I said before, the workmen are here putting in the new hot water heater, and the door was wide open, and I couldn't find LT. So I thought for sure she must have ran out, but I was shocked because she's usually so afraid of the outside. Every time I have the door open and she feels the air and smells it, she just runs back in. I called her, I went and I came and I shook her treats for about 5 minutes straight and nothing. Well, then I started walking around the house. I looked in the laundry room. I looked under the dining room or the kitchen table here. I looked under the dining room table. All of her usual spots. No LT. So I went over here and I looked at her little thing here for the second time, her little box. Then I looked behind the chair, and sure enough, that's where she is. She was sitting right over there, so I was so relieved to find her. She's getting a couple treats right now, but man, that really scared the heck out of me. I don't think she would go outside, but I've never tested her like that before. It's really something else, because I don't know if I'd ever get her back. She was a feral cat, so if she went outside, she might freak out and run away to the highway, run miles and miles and never stop. So I'm going to tell the guys now to make sure that they keep this door closed when they're not there, because I don't want to run the risk. And I didn't realize they didn't know to keep it closed when they weren't working right now. So I will talk to you guys a little later, but LT's okay. All right, guys, so I got a little bit of bad news. Turns out the laptop that I got yesterday is toast. The motherboard has a problem. I tried loading Windows 10 and then went back to Windows 7, and they both kept giving me the same blue screens. It said there was a problem with the input-output controller, and I've narrowed it down to the SATA ports right on the motherboard. So I contacted the gentleman who sold it to me, and it's somebody I've dealt with before. He sold me quite a few computers in the past, and I told him that there was a problem with the motherboard, and I asked him what we can do, and he's like, well, I can't do a refund, but I will exchange it out for a quad-core desktop. And I said, yeah, I'm okay with that. So at least still something will get done, but it's unfortunate. All right, guys, they're back in working, so I'll talk to you a little bit later. Oh, all right, guys, so I'm outside. We're actually getting a little bit of a sun shower right now. You can see that it's pretty much not cloudy at all, except for over here, and I'm actually getting rained on right now. Well, this is the old water heater they just took out. I thought I'd show it to you guys. What's really interesting about this is we had this installed in 2008. The company that actually installed it verified that that's when we had it installed, and I'm going to see if I can find it here somewhere. If you look at the date on it, which I know it's got to be here somewhere. I don't see it off the top of my head, but I guess it might be the code. This thing was actually made in 2003, so this was 5 years old when we got it. And as you can see, it's definitely been leaking. It actually was leaking from the top. When it was upstairs last night, you could see the water. You actually see the spots where the water was kind of leaking down the side. You see one there, and you see one there, and you can actually see some rust forming. So, yeah, that wasn't too good. This really only lasted us about 8 years. And generally, you like to at least see 10 to 15 out of something like this. So, I don't know what this brand is, if they make it anymore, but I would stay clear of it because it really did not serve us very well at all. So I'm going to go ahead and just check, see if we got any mail. I'm also going to end the vlog here for today. I hope you guys are really enjoying these. Again, stay tuned for some longer vlogs coming in the near future. And here's hoping that I actually get my SSD bracket in soon. If not, I'm going to take one of the YouTube users' suggestions that I go on Amazon and buy one. So until tomorrow, have a blessed day, everybody.